YouTube. Welcome to Divine Arisha 33's YouTube channel. It's Friday. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad the week is over. Okay? It's a little flustery hot. It's a little warm up here, or down south, I should say. It's been a little cold, a little gloomy all week, so I'm really glad that the sun is coming out and that we are on the spring equinox. And how fitting it is that I decided to do a video on what the spring equinox brings forth, which is fertile energy. We also know that it's sexual energy, orgasmic energy. That's really what I want to talk about today. And just so you know, this video, okay, mothers, fathers, responsible guardians, this is not for children. Anyone under the age of 18, before the bloom of youth, you should not be watching this video. Turn it off, push stop. Also, get it out of earshot of those children under the age of 18. Now that you have done that, welcome to my channel. And today I want to discuss with you, or I shouldn't say discuss with you because you're not here, okay? You can give me feedback after this video is over in terms of commentary. I'm more than glad to receive that. But today I want to talk about or relay information regarding orgasmic energy. And I will just say, starting off from the platform, this is not about sexual intercourse itself. This is not about how to enjoy your sex life better. This is about how to enjoy your standard of living, how to evolve spiritually through the power of orgasmic energy. Now, that might be boring to some of you, but hey, you're missing out on a beautiful thing, because ultimately, if you were to explore this energy I'm talking about, you would know that's the real secret to prosperity. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much detail again about sexual intercourse, if you will, but I will just say that this is not about having a high libido or a low libido, or being celibate or sexually active. This is not about your orientation, sexually speaking. This is about you harnessing something that you were born with, that we all possess. As little children, and please don't take this the wrong way, I'm not advocating anything with children and sex at all. I'm so against that. I'm the last person in the world that would go for that. But as children, did you not experience or want to explore a feeling that you had down there in your privacy, as some people call it? But you were told as a child, you don't go there. You don't know what that's about, leave it alone. Or it was just swept under the rug. It was taboo, ultimately, I'm sure. Not a lot of cultures embrace, even as adults, what orgasmic energy is. There's so many of people in today's society and different cultures who have never experienced an orgasm, men inclusive. And what I mean, men, about not having an orgasm, I don't mean when you have an ejaculation, because ejaculation and orgasm is not the same thing. Just like female ejaculation and orgasm is not the same thing. And yes, females can and do ejaculate. I hope I just opened up your mind on two things right there. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. Go do your research, find out, try it, apply it, and then you'll like it, okay? Okay, so what I want to talk and say, I want to say a lot, don't I? I keep on saying that. Okay, but what I'm going to get to first is thought processes, imagination. What is an orgasmic experience? It's the ultimate bliss, the ultimate high. However you get there is your business, long as you get there, right? Now, once you get there, what are you doing? Are you just sitting there like you waiting for the train to come or waiting for the bus? Or are you actually being active in that moment of your imagination and creating things so that they can manifest in your physical life? As above, so below. How you get there is through your imagination. You elevate and magnify the power of that imagination and solidify its manifestation process through the power of your orgasm. Orgasmic energy can be a very powerful thing. And it is something that needs to be developed over time. It is not something that happens overnight. I'll give you an experience that I had. I'm not a promiscuous person, but I do have a very high sexual energy about me. Very open-minded, but I don't have tendencies, if you will. I know in today's society, tendencies means, something that I'm not discussing today. But I have a very high sexual nature about me. And the experience that I've had a lot of orgasmic, powerful experiences in my utilization of orgasmic energy. Just say it like that. But one experience I had, I was in the throes and in the climax of an orgasm. And I was in a room with candles, multiple candles, at least 5 candles within that room. And when I was in the climax and in the throes of that orgasm energy flow, I closed my eyes and I was in imagination mode and I was creating, what I wanted to manifest and I wanted to see, come forth, give birth to something physically. When I opened my eyes after I came down from that climax, from that flow, from that throes, all the candles were out as if somebody blew birthday candles out on a birthday cake. Like my wish was granted. And I must tell you, that wish was granted. Not long thereafter, that experience. But just that experience alone of seeing all those candles out simultaneously at the same time when I opened my eyes was a sign to me that energy levels of my orgasmic flow was picking up and it was at a higher level than before. Again, because of that energy, I started to harness that. Regardless of my sexual status of being celibate or being sexually active, I'm able to utilize that energy to harness it and to manifest the levels of prosperity, levels of spiritual evolution that I'm ascertaining and trying to continue to evolve to through the power of orgasmic energy. Now, there are other elements that you can use, but this is a method that I know works for me. It's not the only method, but it is a method that I know works for me. And I would ask you try to at least explore your options with that as well. The key with orgasmic energy and manifesting what it is you're wanting to do and harness the energy to a level that you want to see it fruition into is the power of your imagination, your focus, your drive, your willpower. It takes work. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's worth it. And ultimately, you define your own power. What are you thinking about when you have an orgasm? Are you thinking about how good it feels? Are you thinking about, and I'm going to just say this. If there is some vulgarity that comes out of my mouth, that's how I communicate. I'm a multilinguist. I have vernacular abilities of a scholar, and then I can speak just as cool and calm and street as the next person. It just depends on how the energies are flowing through me to communicate to you what needs to be said because I may need to speak to some of those. Some of you may be at a higher level of intellect and a scholarly, vocabulary and don't use common language. And then some of you use Kool-Aid language, what I call Kool-Aid. It's so easy. There's no judgment here. What I'm trying to do is resonate with you on a certain vibration that you'll be able to pick up what I'm saying and apply it to your very life. Or at least let it resonate with you. And if it's not something you can use today, maybe you'll use it tomorrow. Maybe you'll use it next week. Or maybe you be the conduit to say, you know what, I heard somebody crazy say, blah, blah, blah. And you never know who's listening, and that may be resonating food for them. Okay? So, what I was saying. I know I was talking about orgasmic energy and, thinking. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about, I'm able to produce, through this orgasmic experience or this, in that flow or that climax of orgasm, am I focusing and seeing into fruition this phone call for a job offer that I just went and interviewed for? Or the email that says, okay, bill is paid and you don't know how? Truth is stranger than fiction, okay? And I'm all about exploring that. I like to know how deep the rabbit hole goes, okay? So that's where I'm at when it comes to, that kind of thing. On orgasmic energy flow. Yes. You can change your standard of living. You can change your lifestyle in terms of the people around you, if they're not so good for you, your work conditions. If you got all kind of everyday issues that you may go through. I don't know them, what you're going through personally, but I can say from my own experience, the power of orgasmic energy has helped me so much in my life. It is worth giving it a try. Nothing beats a fail but a try. Why not try it? Please don't get hung up on the Bible says this or the Bible says that, because it's also in the Holy Scriptures and in the holy books alike, one of the most powerful things that can happen for a person, a spirit, is sexual orgasmic energy. Think about the universe for a second. When they say the Big Bang Theory, there's an explosive bang that happened and it formed the universe, the earth, and the stars and all that. I don't agree with that concept. However, what I will say is, what is an orgasm? The same essences of the Big Bang Theory is the same essence of orgasmic energy. It's creation. Orgasmic energy is creation. Let that sit on you for a second. If you have an imagination, and what I want to just say is, step outside of your left side of your brain, go into your right side of your brain, the creative side, the innocent childlike, the enthusiastic childlike one. Go there for a second. Use the power of that imaginative when it comes to your sexual development, your spiritual development, your orgasmic harnessing. Go there. Because this is not about logic. Excuse me. This is not about intellect. This is not about the conveyor belt lifestyle. Some of you know what conveyor belt lifestyle means. If you're not certain, touch somebody and ask them, what does conveyor belt lifestyle mean? Or go on Urban Dictionary and look it up. It's there. Because a lot of you may be living that kind of lifestyle and don't even realize it. And before they push delete on your conveyor belt lifestyle, I want you to get something spiritual and change. Change yourself. change your whole perspective, change your whole life, and save your life in the process. Because I'm telling you now, orgasmic energy can be the very key to your own salvation. Your own salvation. You are the controller of your own salvation. You are the finder of your own path. Why not try to tap into something that is not talked about? Men, what are you thinking about when you're having your ejaculation? Let me just talk about the whole ejaculation versus orgasmic experience just for a second. Because women, I want to talk to you about that too. Men, when you ejaculate, that is not the same thing as an orgasm. No, it's not. Do your research. You will have a true orgasmic experience when you learn not to release your semen. When you learn not to nut up and nut off. And y'all, like I said, I do use some vulgarities in some of my language and my communications. And I'm not apologetic about it. This is the way I am. And I make no apologies for the way I communicate with others. I'm not lack of education or lack of intelligence. I'm very diverse in my communication efforts. And that makes me no less of a person or a spirit or a being than you. Okay? So please lose any judgments or convictions on the type of words that I am communicating to those who need to hear this. Men, when you busting nuts, you are not having an orgasm. It feels real good because you're releasing tension off those balls. But it is not an orgasm. And another thing you want to know is that the same fluid that's in your brain is the fluid you release when you bust your nuts. So whenever you start being sexually active, whether it be through a wet dream, and you kept going, and now you 20 years into it, and your dick ain't broke off yet, you still going at it? How intelligent are you really? Do you still think like you do when you're 12? And be honest with yourself. This is not proving anything to me. I'm just making an observation or stating an observation that I've already made. Men who start ejaculating at an early age because you're utilizing the same fluid from your brain and you're releasing it through your phallus, your dick, your penis. Some of y'all don't know what phallus is. Phallus is an ancient Egyptian word for dick. I'm sure all of y'all heard of dick. If you don't know what dick is, penis. Penis. Penis, okay? But you're draining from your brain your life essence and energy that stores the intellect, that stores the life force. You're releasing it every time you ejaculate. So if you did that at 12, your mind was at a certain level, right? Okay, so you lost that when you bust that nut, right? Okay, and you kept going, your dick kept on itching for that next nut. That's all you've been focusing on. That next nut, busting that nut. And that's why you're chasing skirts. That's why you get, you know what? Jay-Z put it right. Pussy does rule the world. A lot of men do a lot of things, businessmen alike. Men are men to get that pussy. And I really shouldn't say men are men. I should say males. Because you got some grown boys who happen to be of adult age, over the age of 18, that's still chasing pussy as if they, getting cotton candy for the first time. And that might be a little fairy just to say cotton candy because I don't know too many boys who like cotton candy. But that's besides the point. The point is you are being very promiscuous in your thinking about pussy as opposed to retaining your ejaculative fluids and experiencing the next level with orgasmic energy. Practice over time. This is something that's going to take time. Practice. The next time you have a scratch on your dick, or itch on your dick, I shouldn't say scratch because you might got a STD. Next time you got a itch on your dick, wait until a tingle. See, you know that itch thing, but whatever. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Next time you have an urge to want to have sex with somebody, or just, masturbate, do the 5-finger loose or whatever you like to do, hold that feeling for a second, okay? Hold it. Don't let it go. Harness it in your mind, in your imagination, and not in imagination of a woman. Imagination of something you really want to come forth in your life to help you in your life. Whether it be a new car, a better paying job, a new home, more reliable friends, a loyal family. Use that urge, the energy of that urge, and harness it into your orgasmic moment. Don't bust no nut. If you want to go ahead and start, having that sexual energy and increasing it in that exchange with yourself, fine. Or with a partner, fine. But do not release. Focus on not releasing. And what you'll realize is that as you start to retain your sperm, your nut, your family jewels, because they call jewels for a reason, men. Yes, they are. When you start to retain that and not release it, you'll start to notice that orgasmic energy is starting to come there and rise up. And when it starts to rise up, imagine that new car. What it's like in that new car. What it feels like to drive it down the road. All this while you're having it. And if that's too much for you, then you're not even supposed to be looking at this video. Because what I'm talking about is, again, spiritual evolution and the key to your salvation and helping you have a better life experience. And it is not going to be by the simple push of a button or a simple bust of a nut. That is not what this is about. So if you instant gratification, then go ahead and push stop. But if you want to learn more, then thank you for continuing to watch. So, and I have to do this. I have to, because I understand that a lot of my audience, their lives are busy, and they might not have the kind of time to review this video in full, so they may fast forward, and that's fine. And then there are some that just have this, they want to hear the quick thing. They want the easy button. They want the staples. That's not what life is about. If you want the easy button, then why did you come here? Why did you incarnate as a human? Life is not easy, okay? You're going to have your waves, your ebbs, and your flows. So why are you steady looking for the easy button? Unless you on the conveyor belt lifestyle, then that's for you. So get back to the whole orgasmic energy, men. What you'll start to do is you'll start to see, damn, I got more money in my pocket. I got more women coming my way. The kind of quality of women that I want to come my way. Not these gold digger wenches. And that's if that's what you into. But again, the man that retains his semen and his sperm is the one that catches more women. He don't bust his nuts in every woman he gets with. If any. That's how you had all those kings that had all those harems, concubines, and wives. Like, well, how could he keep up with 100 wives and concubines? Because he wasn't busting no nuts. He only bust nuts when he was trying to procreate. And he only did that certain times, certain women. He didn't get everybody pregnant. That was by design. Do your research, do your studies. If the kings do it and they develop them kingdoms, their empires, What can you do with yours? If you apply the same imagination and orgasmic energy, it's all spiritual. It is nothing physical about it. The physical is just a final fruition of what took place spiritually. So your orgasmic thing, your orgasmic energy is definitely spiritual first, then mental, then physical. It's spiritual, mental, physical. Take that with your orgasmic energy and apply that first, and then see how you see what prosperity and salvation truly is. Heaven, when we talk about heaven, is between a woman's thighs. That is the truth. Just like for a woman, the dick is the magic wand. Yes, it is. We can sit here and say, okay, I don't like it. You a lie. And if you don't like it, then there are some other underlying issues that you have not dealt with, that you need to. And I'm saying that in order to, get evolved, that you have to have sex with someone else, or you have to experience orgasmic energy with somebody else. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, you have to not get off into the thought process that sex is negative, or sex is taboo, or that orgasmic energy is negative or taboo, or it's not something you're supposed to talk about. If anything, that's the main thing you're supposed to be talking about. You don't talk about money, you don't talk about food, you don't talk about orgasm. But you love to have sex, you love to fuck, you love to eat, and you love to go shopping. If you were to take that orgasmic energy, you could do all of those things in one. But with the proper communication. Even as the communication with yourself. If you're celibate, you can still utilize this. If your sexual orientation is not, resonating with the opposite sex, you can still use this. It don't matter if you're 85 years old. Don't ever let people make you think because of an age you're supposed to have a lesser sexual energy. If anything, that's when it's supposed to increase. When the whole thing of the whole concept of, they call it the witch riding you. A witch is usually an old hag on that side, on in the dream world. Old hag trying to appear young and trying to get your sexual energy so that she can do what she wants to do and keep on moving. Now that might be far-fetched for some of you, but some of y'all have experienced the witch riding you. And when you get rolled, you can't move. Why is that? Because she is paralyzing your ass and taking your energy, taking what she wants and leaving you with what she wants you to have left. And you haven't done anything to control that even. But that's another story. That's another topic. I won't even go there. I went off the subject about the men and, I digressed a bit. Okay, so men, just, really keep in mind that ejaculation is not equated to orgasmic experience. Okay? Do your research, study on that, apply it, practice it, and take your time. Don't give up just because you bust a nut the first 2 or 3 times. It takes time. If you're having sex on a regular basis, or if you masturbate on a regular basis, if you shooting off, without trying, or if you're trying to retain it, don't give up. Let that practice happen, okay? And that's that willpower you must develop too. And if you need to play this video so you can hear just that little piece that I just said, just so you can retain that willpower on the moments where you just feel like you're about to give up, then feel free. Women, when you're having your orgasm, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about wanting a new baby or a baby period? Even if you have a situation where you're being told that you will never have children, you can change that, It's in your DNA. And it is also in the power of your orgasmic energy. With your orgasmic power, people, you can change your very DNA. because we're talking about life creation. If you can create life with your dick or the semen that comes from your dick, if you can create life with your ovum, women, your womb, if you can create life and contribute to the life of another being, another human, if you can create all that with what's between your legs, why can't you change your own life? Why can't you change your own genetic makeup, your own structure? That also comes from your sexual energy and orgasmic power. Women, are you thinking about the love you would like to attract in your life? Or are you just glad that this motherfucker decided to call you up and bust his nut up in you instead of the next bitch you know he fuck with? I'm only saying that because that's the way some women are. Some men are like that too. But my exposure, being a lady myself, I have listened to some of my sisters, my women friends, say that same thing or think that same way. And you don't know how sadistic that shit is. You control your pussy. You have power over that. Just like he controls his dick, he knows whose pussy he want to go in. You should know whose dick you're going to let go in you. But if you can't even do that, then you don't have any orgasmic power. Because your orgasmic power will attract the kind of dick you want in you. And when I say dick, I don't mean just dick. If you just want to have sex with men or women or whatever, then fine. You just attract whatever you want. But if you're looking for a mate, a long-term mate, a partnership, whatever, you can attract that again through the power of your orgasmic energy. It is not about just, okay, this, you know, the sex is so good and he makes me come and all that other shit. Because coming and orgasm ain't the same thing either. And women, I'm going to say this about ejaculation. Men, just so y'all know, women do ejaculate. Some of y'all might not realize that. But if you heard the term squirting, skeeting, catting, what else I done heard? All kind of stuff. You know, pissing. You think she pissing when you in there? She ain't pissing. And women, it might feel like piss. It ain't piss. Let it go, honey. That's the nectar of, that's a sweet nectar. Okay? But again, that's not orgasm. It will feel powerful. It can be orgasmic. It can be connected to the orgasmic experience. But the thing is that you're not losing anything like men do. Women, we generate our fluids from a different area of our bodies even. We are life givers. We don't lose anything when we ejaculate, when we have an orgasm. But they are two distinct things. I want you to understand that. Because you can have an orgasm and not ejaculate. And then you can ejaculate but not have an orgasm. And ejaculate sometimes doesn't mean just coming. You can come back to back to back to back and not have not one orgasm. Or you can have an orgasm and not come at all. But what I'm saying is, in use of that orgasmic energy, what are you doing with it? And just so I say, this is not about, this is not a spiritual conversation just so you can have a physical benefit. So I want you to understand that this is not for you to just say, okay, well, you know, I do what it takes to manifest my car and all that, and then I'm done with it. No, if that's what you into, then go back to the church over there on the corner next to the liquor store. Go there. And keep on giving your money to that motherfucker. I'm just saying that shit because that's how a lot of y'all think. I shouldn't say a lot of y'all because I may have some people who are very open-minded. You got to be open-minded if you're looking at me on this channel. You got to be open-minded. You might not even be going to no damn storefront-ass church. You might realize that you are the church. You are your own God. So if that is what you have resonated with and come to the realization of and embracement thereof, then why are you not, if you're not, embracing your sexual power? That's what God, creator energy is all about. Energy, power, creation. Creation happens through an exchange of sex. And sex, not just dick and pussy. Sex is a different energy. Creation, sex, orgasmic. It's all along the same, and love, all the same vibrations. The intensities are different, but they're the same. Whew, I got a little heated. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the other points I wanted to make sure that you get is when you're exploring this, you can do this by yourself or with someone else. But if you're going to do this with someone else, try and do it with someone who's on your same sexual wavelength. They have to be open. They can't have all kinds of idiosyncrasies or conservative aspects of them that will not allow you together to explore what you can grow, build, and create together. This is an element to your prosperity and again to your own salvation. But how much better is it to share it with someone who can help create that with you as well? You don't create a baby by yourself. For those women who have the fathers of their children in their life, you both get to dote on that baby when it's first born. You both cry at that child's first graduation or the first birthday. So if you're able to do that, this is a fruitage of your womb, the fruitage of your loom. That you guys are being able to enjoy the gift of that child, that spirit in that child. That's that human. Why is it that that's the only form of creation you think that exists when you have a sexual or orgasmic experience? Get some books. Do some research on the internet, whatever you got to do to realize that creation is everything. Creation is from a physical standpoint as human beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We incarnated here, in this case, on this dimension, through sexual energy. Orgasmic energy. Some people say that you don't produce a child unless you have an orgasm. In the case of a rape victim who ends up pregnant, that's not true. But I digress. What I'm saying to you is orgasmic power. Make sure you're on the same wavelength with someone who you are doing this with. If you don't, what end up happening is your power won't be any less effective. However, you will not be able to communicate to that person the purpose of you engaging with them, the sexual act. You could go into this session, say you were with someone who is on your same sexual wavelength. You could be like, babe, tonight when we get together or when we do what we do, I want us to focus on getting that new house we both went to go look at today. And I want us to try to aim at having a simultaneous orgasmic experience together. See, that's what you can do when you are able to share it with someone who's on your same wavelength. Because if you're not, all they're going to do is they're going to bust that nut and go eat 2 sandwiches afterwards. And you steady left there still trying to get yours. And you have to finish yourself off. Really? No. Get with someone who's on your same sexual wavelength and experience. My candle went out. I love that. It is said in the spiritual world, when a candle goes out, or it pops or hisses or sizzles like that, That's some beautiful energy that you've just shared. There's some truth. And the spirits are resonating and they are gracing your presence, gracing you with their presence. And they agree with what you're saying. So, as you saw before you, the candle went out. And I already talked about earlier why the candle went out or when the candle went out. So, men and women, get with someone who's on your sexual wavelength, and that requires communication. Before you even get into the bedroom or whatever room you go in to have this sexual experience or exchange with that person and build up of orgasmic energy, you want to have communication first. Without communication, this cannot really work to your satisfaction or to the full potential and full velocity that it can develop into. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today in today's discussion or orgasmic energy and power. I may open up a little bit more because it's deep. The rabbit hole is really deep. It's not just something you just, cover in a short video or a conversation with something. It is over time, and it's something that even I'm still exploring. As advanced as I have gotten with this, it's something I'm still exploring, and I'll never stop learning. That's what I love about this evolving process in development of my spiritual sexuality. Well, I'll say my spirituality, because sex is very spiritual. Very spiritual. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it's very spiritual. And the power of your orgasm just manifests and magnifies that energy and brings it into fruition, physicality. But you got to have your imagination. You got to have your focus. You got to be sincere with it, okay? You can't be thinking about, okay, well, I'm going to just do this just because it just, it's something that, I know will help me, and then I'm going to get back to my life. This is your life. And what'll happen is, if once you stop, you'll start to notice the same shit happening. Same old crap you was trying to get away from, which is really yourself. You'll be right back in it. Same old pile of shit. So don't use this as no hustle. Please don't. It's not a hustle. It's prosperity. But if you got a hustler mind, you won't be able to understand what I'm telling you. Because all you're thinking about is a quick fix, quick money, and quick means to an end. But if you're an investor, then you'll know exactly what I'm speaking about. Well, I thank you for stopping by my channel. And I hope that I've helped you in some way or another. This resonated with you. I hope I've made you laugh. I hope I've made you think. I hope I've, warmed up those areas in your genitalia so that you can go ahead and get the practice of prosperity on through your orgasmic energy. But until next time, I want you to go ahead and share this video, like it, comment. I'm always receptive and open for commentary and those that I help. Until next time, be respecters of each other and yourselves, and be passionately, orgasmically lovers of yourselves and each other. Ashe.